Good evening, everyone. I'm bringing this video to you as some information to help you through the contagion time of the year. It just simply is the time of the year when people get sick and swap germs, and we have common illnesses that we are subjected to, colds and flus, and then we also have viruses. And right now the topic of conversation is the CV-19, also known as the coronavirus, which we are seeing spread as a pandemic and has the potential to overcome historically some of the worst plagues that have ever happened. With our global economy now, where people fly from one continent to another, diseases spread quicker and then flood throughout the populations, especially in places where there's high population density. Now, we know that one doctor infected with the CV-19 was an asymptomatic carrier. He did not exhibit any symptoms, and we have found with him that his incubation time frame was 24 days. So, he traveled to 3 more continents, infected 10 people directly, and through the exponential variant of all the people that those people came in contact with, they're still tracking down how many potential people are infected, did not know that they were infected, and now have gone on to be around other people. So there's some there's some very complicated things with infections that you do need to learn and know. And I watch a channel called Peak Prosperity, where there is a gentleman that explains these things very clearly. But what I always try to do is to take you back to the simple things that you can actually control and handle and manage. So, what we want to do is to try to protect ourselves from being exposed to dangerous germs, but we also want to protect other people from becoming exposed to anything that we might be carrying. Now, while I've had my illness, I've been wearing my purple nitrile gloves and my face mask. Now, face masks are all back ordered right now if you go to Amazon or someplace like that. Now, you can also go to places like building companies, hardware type places like Lowe's and Home Depot. Now, these are not medical N95 face masks. These are disposable dust and filter mask, and these are for your general going outside, protect you from allergens and that kind of thing. My point of wearing this mask was to keep my saliva and any airborne molecules inside the mask so that I didn't infect other people. And the same thing with the gloves. It was more for me not to infect other people than to protect myself from other people infecting me. Because somebody got me. I know who it is, and I'm going to stab them when I get back to work. Not actually, it's someone I love very dearly, but their family member had influenza A. So they may have been an asymptomatic carrier. There are a lot of people who are asymptomatic flu carriers, and they've been around someone with flu. They don't get sick themselves, but they are pick up the germs and carry it to other people. Now, flu, bacteria can live on a surface. My understanding is like 3 to 4 days. Well, what we're finding out from the coronavirus, the CV-19, is it can live on a surface for up to 7 days. So that increases the time frame when a person can be exposed. So now that I covered a couple of those things, what you need to do is to protect yourself from exposure. Obviously, that's going to be mean that stop going out for needless things, stop interacting in public needlessly during this time frame. You don't know who you are bumping into at a party or place like that, or who they have bumped into the week before. Like I said, we now live in a global community, and even in little bitty tiny Middle Tennessee, we have a global community at the place where I work. So, one of the things you're going to want to do is have these things right here on supply. Now, I have 91% isopropyl alcohol. I have 3% hydrogen peroxide. I have disinfectant wipes, disinfectant spray. I have a thermometer. I have nitrile gloves, and I have these filter masks. Now, when I go out, I've been wearing these. And what I've also been doing is I've been carrying my own disinfectant spray with me. Luckily, being in a little tiny hometown, people know me fairly well. I go to the same places all the time. And when I set my stuff down onto the belt to be checked out, I go ahead and I spray all the stuff with the disinfectant spray. And I talked to the little girl at Dollar General the other day. I said, do you want me to scan them for you? Because I can do that. I've been a cashier before. And she said, no, ma'am. I've got all my disinfectant stuff right here next to the cash register. So I was very proud of her. Now, you also want to have on hand ibuprofen and acetaminophen for bringing down fevers. Now, as long as you're running a fever, you are contagious. We do not know what that means with the CV-19, though. We're finding out there's asymptomatic carriers, and apparently you can be contagious before showing a fever. With flu, you can actually be contagious 24 hours before showing a fever. So, when you do go out, take you some disinfectant wipes, put them in a little Ziploc bag, and keep them in your pocket or your pocketbook. Have your gloves on. If you want to wear a face mask, wear a face mask. Now, with my asthma, wearing a face mask very, very much makes it hard for me to breathe. But I have done so that I don't take any chance of any airborne molecules getting out. That's what that is for. It is not to prohibit things coming into you. I also stick a couple of little Kleenexes up inside of there. So, here's a few simple things that you can have on hand. I have my little thermometer that I've been using to monitor my temperature, even with the ibuprofen and acetaminophen alternating. I can't get my temperature below 100 degrees. It's not gotten lower than 100.4. Pick you up some of these things, and these are things you should already have in your household. I want people to be prepared. Don't put yourself in the place of being a victim or a statistic. Be prepared. This don't cost nothing, hardly at all. And you keep them on hand. I've wiped down my steering wheel, my door handles. Even before I got sick, I was trying to train these young people that I work with. I have 2 young people that come in after me, and I relieve one of them when I come in the mornings. So what I've told them is, as we change shift, when that person walks out the door, wipe down the whole area. Our radios, our microphones, the ink pens, the staplers, everything that is touched, the telephone, and then spray. And if we keep doing that, we're not going to set ourselves up for exposure. So here's you a couple of little things to get. Now, some of the washable face masks are still available online. The stores are all sold out, y'all. That's just how it is. Worst case scenario, you can tie yourself a bandana around your face like in the Wild Wild West, or you can wear one of those collars that you pull up over your face in the wintertime. They sell those where it comes down around your neck, but then you can pull it up over your nose and face. But the point is to minimize exposure to other people's germs and your own germs during this season of contagion. Now, my next video, I'm going to cover some of the basic supplies you need to have and why you need to have them. So until next time, God bless you, everybody.